Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Pony Talk Podcast. Great to see you all here for another episode review. We are catching up. Yes, that's a good sign. That's a real good sign. And, well, as always, I am your awesome host, Dashy101, and today, guys, I am not joined by anyone currently, but at last we will have, quite a few people, joined with us for, the next podcast. Because as you know, this episode after this episode is the mid-season finale, so that means we're going to be on a hiatus, but we're going to get a little more into that into the next podcast, because I also found out more interesting stuff too, so the podcast is actually probably going to be going on a little bit longer. You'll see why. But Welcome to episode 12, or the overall episode 208. Yes, 208. And this episode title is The Last Crusade, which I also found out too that the episode title is supposed to be a reference to an Indiana Jones movie, also having The Last Crusade, or what is it called? Oh yeah, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Okay, there you go. Which is very interesting to me because, actually, you know what? I need to get something out there. I actually haven't really watched the Indiana Jones, trilogy. Yeah, I know, it's bad. It's really bad. Maybe that'll be something I need to watch. I think so, yeah. Anyways, guys, yes, The Last Crusade, that is our episode title that we're going to be talking about, or the episode in particular. So, this was a really, really good episode, I gotta say. I don't know about you guys, but this was a very, very tasteful episode, and also very emotional and touching. So, in this episode is mainly based around, well, Scootaloo actually finding out that she's got parents, which is a huge deal, I'm just gonna get that out there, but, yeah, so, before I go more into it, let's just get on with talking about the episode and where it begins off, just briefly going through, or as briefly as possible we can do it. So, the episode kicks off with a filly named Skedaddle, and Skedaddle is racing through Ponyville to find the Cutie Mark Crusaders, and he finds them at Scootaloo's house, and Skedaddle says that, Crusaders, I got my cutie mark, and it was a cutie mark in, knot tying. So, Skedaddle is very good at knot tying, and, he expresses, like, how grateful that, they actually helped him through, finding his special talent. And the Crusaders are like, well, I mean, it's kind of our thing, it's kind of like what we do, so absolutely, we're always here to help, and if you have anyone else who also needs to find out their special talent, we're all about that, because, you know, history with us too, we didn't have our cutie marks until all three of us found our talent after we tried multiple things, which was also another episode where the Cutie Mark Crusaders finally got their cutie marks. Yeah, so, Skedaddle's like, well, thank you very much, and then this is where we get introduced into Scootaloo's aunts that are also at Scootaloo's household, which their names are Holiday and Lofty. Lofty I know about, Holiday I'm not sure. But yes, so they wanted to emphasize, like, how much, like, well, Scootaloo's aunts, I should say, want to emphasize on, like, how important the Crusaders really are. Like, they're like, it's so nice of you guys to be doing this for fillies who don't really have an idea of what their special talent is, and then you Crusaders stepping in to actually help these fillies. I really think it's amazing, and you know, we should one day do something like special for you guys, because you may not know how really big it truly is. Because every filly is looking for what their special talent is. Even you three were. And they're like, yeah, we are pretty good at what we do, and that's probably why we're as good of friends as what we are today. And so then Lofty mentioned something about thinking of a theme for a quilts that they're making. And then they go on saying, well, you know, I wish I was like you three. You have young minds and all that. You can think of a bunch of different things. Heck, I mean, you even help these fillies throughout Ponyville to find their special talents. I really wish I had a mind like you three. And then, so as Holiday and Lofty catch their train home, Apple Bloom mentions how cool it is that Scootaloo has aunts like them. And with that being said, Scootaloo mentioned something about her parents, which is huge because if you are not aware, in the fan base, we don't really hear too much anything or nothing, to be precise, about Scootaloo having any such parents. But we do believe they have them because, well, Scootaloo's here, so she should. But this is the first time Scootaloo's parents are mentioned, and then we find out Scootaloo gets a postcard, and this is where they find out that her parents, if I could speak, it happens to me all the time. I can't speak over certain interesting and really like the climaxy part of these stories. But yes, Scootaloo gets a postcard from her parents, who are long away, but come to find out they're on their way home. And this is where Scootaloo's line comes in, saying, "They're coming home today." And the Crusaders are like, "Who?" And she goes, "My parents!" And she's so excited. And then I think also I kind of screamed a little bit inside too, because like, we're actually gonna find out who Scootaloo's parents are. Yes, okay. So that was another big mystery about MLP. So yeah, so title sequence we have, and then it goes back to the episode, which Scootaloo is with the Crusaders in school, because they're in school right now, and Cheerilee's trying to give a lesson. Well, Scootaloo is kind of really like hyped up because she knows her parents are coming home eventually, doesn't know when. And Cheerilee asks Scootaloo, what's the issue? What's going on here? You're not acting yourself, or you're a little antsy. And she's like, well, sorry, Miss Cheerilee, it's just I thought I would like stay here and watch things for you and help you out. And Cheerilee's like, how you'll help me out is if you go back to your seat, Scootaloo. And she's like, I don't know if I can do that. It's just... And then Miss Cheerilee then suggests, okay, so why don't we do show and tell? And Scootaloo runs right up to the front of the classroom, kind of knocks Cheerilee out of the frame, and starts talking about, my parents are coming home. And she's so super excited, which, I mean, from not seeing my parents in a long time, I would be too. Probably you guys as well. So she goes into talking about how her parents are travelers slash I almost said Avengers. They go on a lot of adventures and all that, studying exotic plants and creatures for the advancement of science and medicine. So, yes. And then we have a classmate, Snips. How could we forget about Snips? Snips kind of doubts Scootaloo's parents are like all this awesome, and they go on exotic adventures with finding creatures and these weird creatures, weirder creatures than you could find in the Everfree. And then this is when a pretty dramatic scene pops up. The door slams open, and we see a crocodile. I mean, in this sense, we probably are thinking, oh, is that Scootaloo's parents? No, a crocodile out of the sort comes through trying to attack the Phillies and Miss Cheerilee. And Miss Cheerilee's trying to get them to safety. And the crocodile, I think this was like one of my favorite scenes, grabs one of the Phillies' desk and literally breaks it with his powerful jaws. And then Scootaloo's parents dash in to save the day. So they're like, get! And they're trying to get this crocodile to calm down, or at least try to get him into his cage, because they brought these exotic animals with them, which we find out in the next frame. And so Snips kind of takes back what he said. He's like, okay, Scootaloo, I believe you. I'm sorry I doubted you. And they're like, ooh, sorry about that, young Phillies. We are Scootaloo's parents. She's probably told you about us. Yeah, sorry about that dramatic entrance. Miss Cheerilee, we're sorry too. And Cheerilee's just shaking on her desk, and she's like, ooh, it's fine, I'm good. And then Scootaloo's parents kind of meet her outside of the school, because school's over. And that's the scene that I was talking about with the animal crates and stuff, and you can see the crocodile that kind of made a dramatic entrance. So in this case, Scootaloo's parents give her a hug and all that, and they're like, oh, Scootaloo, you don't know how long it's been. We've missed you a lot. And Scootaloo's like, I'm just excited you're here. You can meet my friends. I could show you around Ponyville. It's gonna be great. And this is where we have Scootaloo's parents kind of say, well, we also kind of need to talk to you a little bit, just about something. And Scootaloo's like, oh, okay. In this point in time, Scootaloo kind of catches up more with her parents, and then she gives them a tour of Twilight Sparkle's School of Friendship, and then her parents kind of break the news to Scootaloo. Well, they don't mean to break the news, but it breaks the news to Scootaloo. They mention that they have a new job opportunity somewhere else, and they want Scootaloo to be a part of it. And she's like, are you kidding? Yes, I will absolutely join. They're like, excellent. We didn't think you would step down, but here's the catch. That means we're also going to have to leave Ponyville. And then this is where Scootaloo's heart kind of shatters. She's like, what do you mean, leave Ponyville? This is my home. I have friends here. And they're like, we know, Scootaloo, but at the same time, you know, this is a really important job, and we can't lose this job, because this is what we're meant to do. And Scootaloo's like, there has to be another way. And they're like, unfortunately, there isn't another way. We're sorry, Scoot, but we gotta start packing up things, and we're gonna have to leave Ponyville soon. And this is where Scootaloo kind of breaks down in tears, and she's at the clubhouse with the Crusaders, and she's crying, and then also the Crusaders find out too. Actually, I think the Crusaders are with Scootaloo. So yeah. But this definitely breaks up the Crusaders at that point. And so now they're all bawling their eyes out, crying, and they're like, oh, this day's horrible. I'm never gonna see you guys again. They're being very dramatic. And this part was really heartbreaking, you know, seeing those fillies cry. And then they're saying, okay, well, we gotta make our official last Crusader meeting. That was really heartbreaking too. So yeah, with this all being said, this is where just things start kind of going downhill. The Crusaders are like, oh, there's no way this could happen. Scootaloo, you mean so much to us. And Scootaloo's like, guys, you don't need to have me in your group anymore. It could just be you two being the Cutie Mark Crusaders. And Apple Bloom's like, Scootaloo, all three of us matter. We can't do the Cutie Mark Crusaders without you. It just won't work. And they kind of cry more. And then this is where Rainbow Dash kind of burst in through the Crusaders treehouse. And Rainbow Dash offers tickets to a Wonderbolt show. And they look at each other again, and then they start bursting out crying again. And Rainbow Dash is like, okay, I didn't think it would be that bad. And Scootaloo's like, it's not that, Rainbow Dash. I'm not going to be able to stay here any longer. I'm going to be leaving the Crusaders, and I'm not going to see you anymore. And Rainbow Dash is like, wait, what? Why? And Scootaloo says, well, my parents got a new job opportunity somewhere else, and they can't afford to lose that job because that's what they're made to do, and I have to go with them. I can't stay here in Ponyville, and they won't stay here in Ponyville. And this is where Rainbow's like, there's another way around this. They don't understand too that, you know, you three are really something special. You guys have also technically you are the Cutie Mark Crusaders. You help fillies out. Ponyville really respects you three. And to have one of you break off from the Crusaders, this can't be happening. There's got to be a better way. Maybe you guys could think of something else. And they kind of get enlightened by that, and they're saying, you know what, we're going to try different things. So one of them is creating a foreign exotic creature that does not exist, a mythical creature that lurks in the Everfree. And they decide, well, wait, before we go creating anything and stuff, do we have any exotic animals that might be lurking through the Everfree? Like, well, Timberwolves, no. Cockatrice, no. Those are crazy, dangerous creatures, but they're not exotic creatures that you see every day that are extremely, extremely dangerous. And this is where they're like, okay, well, yeah, let's try doing this fake creature. And they're like, all right, let's do it. So Scootaloo lures her parents into the Everfree, saying, okay, so you might be able to actually stay here in Ponyville. Head's getting a little bit tight. You can stay here in Ponyville because we got some exotic creatures that lurk in the Everfree that no pony knows about. And her parents are like, ooh, I like this. And are like, look at these crazy footprints. And they're like, We haven't seen anything like those. Maybe you got something, Scoot. And they go following the tracks, and it kind of leads them to the exotic creature that lurks in the forest. And they can't really see it from a distance, but they have enough to get a snapshot, which that snapshot kind of scares away the creature, and they kind of go after it. Well, the fake creature is Sweetie Belle and Apple Bloom in a costume that they created. And they're trying to run away, and as a lot of us have predicted, the mythical creature falls down, the costume gets destroyed, and their Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle are kind of scattered across the ground, and her parents find out that it's a hoax. So they're like, okay, Scootaloo, we know you don't want to leave Ponyville, but at the same time, we got a job that we need to do, and we need to start packing. We can't waste any more time. Come on, let's be serious. Help us pack. And this is where they're kind of like, oh, it's useless. It's useless. Guys, it's not going to work. So, the next idea they have is trying to involve some way, shape, or form with magic, which was, if I can remember correctly, I'm trying to remember some of this. Right, I remember. So the Crusaders actually go back to the treehouse, and Apple Bloom has something that Zecora gave her, and this is a magic spell that combines the three of them to where they can't be let go. So they're thinking, hey, if we are connected and we can't get away from each other, Scootaloo won't have to go home, or, well, to where their new location will be. And they're like, hey, that's a great idea. So Apple Bloom casts a spell, or all three of them cast a spell, and this creates a magical rope that ties their hooves together, and they're like, ooh, well, this is not really what we had in mind. And so this is like, oh yeah, this is not good. Obviously this spell's not going to work. So in that moment, this really brings the Crusaders down, and they know an end of an era is coming. So with one day left before Scootaloo has to move away, the Crusaders make one last ditch attempt to get Scootaloo's parents to stay in Ponyville, and that is them tying themselves up, or at least chaining themselves up to the for sale sign that's outside of Scootaloo's house. Well, it's for sale, so not Scootaloo's house anymore. And they're like, okay, Mom, Dad, I decided I'm staying here. And the rest of them are like, yeah, and we're staying here with Scootaloo. If we lose Scootaloo, that will be it. There's nothing that can unchain us or get us away. And as soon as they say that, the sign pulls away up from the ground, and then Scootaloo's parents say, oh, someone bought the house. And that is the last attempt for the Crusaders. It seems like all hope is lost. And this is where Scootaloo's like, well, goodbye, guys. And I think I also left something out. I think, no, that's right. In that point, Scootaloo's parents kind of walk from Ponyville or they walk through Ponyville to go say goodbye to Scootaloo's aunts. And this is where Scootaloo says, I'm not going to be in Ponyville anymore. I'm moving away with my parents. And she's like, I really hate this a lot, and I'm not going to be able to see my friends, Sweetie Belle and Apple Bloom. And this is where her aunts are like, well, we made this quilt, and this is our theme. They show it, and the quilt shows the Crusaders and their theme. And this is where they're like, you three have inspired us to do this amazing quilt, and we thank you. And then I think I jumped gun a little bit. I'm sorry. I jumped gun just a little bit, but her aunts show Scootaloo the quilt, and then they bring the bad news up to them, and then their aunts are like, well, we can't let this happen. You guys, you three, know that you are important, and obviously it shows with our theme here. You guys have done a lot, and for the fillies around, and Ponyville to be precise. And with that being said, you know, if you take it in hindsight, wouldn't that be just as bad as your parents leaving the job that they're actually good at, and you three doing something that also is really important that no one else can replace? And so they get an idea. They're like, oh my god, that's right. You know, if they can't replace us because we are the Cutie Mark Crusaders. No one else can be us besides us. And this is our job. And so, you know, my parents have to know about this, because, like, this is just as bad as them stepping away down or stepping away from their job. So let's do something. And our aunts are like, well, we got an idea. So her aunts tell her the idea and the Crusaders, and then, sorry if you're hearing that in the background, I have someone calling me on FaceTime. Yeah. But anyway, with this being said, Scootaloo tells her parents that there's a special event going on, that you need to come, or either was Rainbow Dash. I think they let Rainbow Dash onto it, and Rainbow Dash told her parents, you need to come to this event, because it involves your daughter. And so they go to Ponyville, or Ponyville Square, and Mayor, the mayor of Ponyville, starts recognizing the Cutie Mark Crusaders for their well-doings in helping fillies and ponies find their cutie marks and their special talents. And they award them a ceremony, they award them a trophy, and a big bash. And everyone in Ponyville is gathered around this event just to support these three. And with this being said, her parents kind of look at each other, and they're kind of like agreeing on something. And they're like, Scootaloo, we need to... And Rainbow Dash kind of stops them, which, Rainbow, I think that was a bad move, but, I mean, like, you know, it's Rainbow Dash. What are you gonna do? Gotta love her. But, Rainbow's like, whoa. After all of that, you're still going to pull Scootaloo away from what matters most. Do you not see what's wrong with this picture? And they're like, well, let us finish. No, we're not. Scootaloo, we understand. We definitely know more and understand a lot clearly on why you didn't want to leave. You know, this is kind of like us leaving our job for some other things that isn't good. But this is something we're good at. And why should we take that away from you? Because that's not what I want from my daughter. I want my daughter to be happy. And this shows that you guys mean a lot and you have something that no other pony can do, just like our job. So with that being said, Scootaloo, you are free to stay in Ponyville, or you're more than welcome to come with us. And Scootaloo is so happy, and every pony cheers, and it's a great day to be a Cutie Mark Crusader. And so the Cutie Mark Crusaders are like, yes, Scootaloo doesn't have to leave. That was a voice crack. Whoa, I apologize for that. But obviously, it's a very happy vibe. All is well. Of course, Scootaloo chooses to stay with the Cutie Mark Crusaders in Ponyville. And her parents say, well, guess what? We'll come back to visit. Don't you worry, Scootaloo. But we're glad to see that you're happy. And then another thing pops up. And her aunt suggests, well, you know, it's kind of nice you guys figure this out now, but you probably should have thought about that before you sold the house. And Scootaloo's like, so where am I going to live now? And then her aunts say, well, Scootaloo, you're more than welcome to live with us if you want to. And Scootaloo's like, really? And they're like, yes, absolutely. We have no problem with that. So, with that being said, Scootaloo has moved in with her aunts, her two aunts, Holiday and, I forgot the other one, Holiday and Lofty. Lofty, okay, there we go. So, with that being said, everyone, is happy that the Cutie Mark Crusaders are together, that this worked, that Cutie Mark Crusader Appreciation Day actually helped out with that, even though they created this thing to help Scootaloo not move away. But I think they should do Cutie Mark Crusader Appreciation Day a lot more. What do you guys think? So, with that being said, Holiday and Lofty decide to let Scootaloo live with them, and it says here that they buy back the house and move to Ponyville. Oh, right! Because Lofty and them didn't live in Ponyville. They lived, I forget where they lived. Maybe it says here. I want to find this out now. I kind of forget. Yeah, it doesn't say. But obviously they live somewhere else. I don't know if it was like Manhattan or somewhere else, or Appaloosa, I'm not sure. But they decide to buy back Scootaloo's house, and her aunts will live in Ponyville permanently along with Scootaloo to keep her in where she belongs. And so it's a very happy ending. Snap and Mane, Scootaloo's parents, I know I haven't mentioned their names, but Snap and Mane is their names, and they promise to visit Scootaloo from their new home in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is where Scootaloo's parents were going to move to, and Apple Bloom and Sweetie are overjoyed that Scootaloo is not moving away. And then this is where, at the end, all of them say, CMC forever. And, yes. So, and I'm sorry about that. That, kind of popped up. Yes! So, CMC forever. Absolutely 100%. And, yeah, that's the end of the... That's the end of the episode right there, guys. So, whew, alright. Kind of getting a little hot, too. I need a little drink. Probably doesn't help that I am wearing a hoodie right now, but yes. So yes, that was The Last Crusade. Man, there was a lot of crazy things to talk about, and I know it was a little bit out of order, guys. I apologize for that. But there were so many good points in this episode. And it was really sweet to see that Scootaloo's parents came from their dangerous job to see Scootaloo and then invite her to go with them, which it kind of seemed demanding at first, and then her parents said, well, you can stay here in Ponyville if you also wish, and we'll come back to visit you. So yeah, it was very sweet moments, and also heartbreaking moments as well. It was bittersweet, but I like seeing episodes like this. I really do. It's really nice. And this goes to show that the Cutie Mark Crusaders will never fade. So yes, I was getting I'll be legit honest with you guys. I was very concerned with seeing the titled The Last Crusade, because I was like, oh no. And when I heard her parents were like, Scootaloo, you're moving with us, that means it's breaking up the CMC and all that, I was like, no, please tell me this isn't happening. But I figured like halfway through the episode that the CMC would bond together, figure out a way for them to stay together. So yes, it was a very nice episode. It definitely got me thinking, and I want to see more episodes like these. 100% guaranteed. Now, I'm not saying that I do not enjoy like filler episodes and all that, because those are good too. But you know, I want to see more episodes like these. I want to see more extravagant episodes that really bring out the heart, and more learning something new, or a friendship lesson. We haven't got a friendship lesson in quite a bit. So yes, but guys, that's all I really have to talk about in this episode. But what did you guys think? Did you really think this episode was a thumbs up, or did you think it was a meh, or did you think it just was absolute bogus? I want to hear from you guys on what you thought about The Last Crusade. Yeah, I really like this episode. That's gonna be my last comment. But I also kind of find it interesting that the episode title is named after an older movie, an Indiana Jones movie. So yes, but with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you leave a like, share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe, guys. And if you are new here, or you haven't already, make sure you click that notifications bell to keep updated with the Pony Talk Podcast reaction videos, because we just posted one, gaming videos, which we'll also have more of, vlogs, or any of the sort. It's all for you and you guys to decide. But with that being said, that is all we have time for, ladies and gentlemen. So we will see you in the next podcast, which will be Between Dark and Dawn. That will be our mid-season finale, so right after that, that will technically be the start of our hiatus until we come back for the other half of Season 9. Oh boy. And when Season 9 officially hits that true finale, well, guys, we're not there yet. Let's not talk about it. But we will see you in that episode, which will be episode 13, overall episode 209. So we will see you then. So as always, we will see you in the next Pony Talk Podcast, guys, when we come back for Between Dark and Dawn. Peace out, every pony. Bye!